Hi everybody, 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the off-grid homestead. I don't know if you can see it, it's sunny and beautiful out. 78 degrees on this November day. I am here late because I took a friend to the airport who is going on a trip, and I just arrived back at the off-grid homestead about an hour ago. Got a video live for your enjoyment, and now I'm going outside in this beautiful sunny weather, summertime weather. And I'm going to start working on the shed out back. So I'm going to start hauling wood across from the barn wood pile and bringing it over to the tiny house on wheels, and hopefully start framing. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. 78 degrees and 28% humidity makes this a better day than a summer day. Because it's low humidity, it feels nice out. And it's getting warmer. So very, very good day. Perfect for working outdoors. I think I just did an entire video without recording. For some odd reason, the record button did not take, and my camera shut off. So I just got a package in the mail from Lumsing, and I just did an entire video, and I feel like a total fool because now I'm starting over again after the package is open and everything. But here we have they claim it is the largest portable battery, or the highest capacity, smallest high capacity portable battery pack on the market. I don't mean largest, I mean they say it's the smallest of this capacity. It is 13,400 milliamps hours capacity. This is a USB battery pack with 2 outputs and an input, and a push button for, oops, there's baby cat. For capacity, it definitely needs a charge, so I'm going to get this out on the SunJack solar panels and get it charging up. And anyway, definitely going to be useful around here. You guys may remember Lumsing, who I've dealt with a lot in the past, and this is a brand new product on the market. You can see it in my hand, fits in the palm of my hand nicely, and as they say, they claim it is the smallest size, physical size for this capacity, this high capacity. This is the Grand A1 Plus Lumsing Power Bank. So brand new on the market, and I'm going to take this right out there and charge it in the sun, because we finally have some sun shining today. So here we have another fine product from Lumsing. I really am impressed with Lumsing. I have dealt with them a lot in the past, and their products are really good quality. So we'll be taking this out and trying it out here at the off-grid homestead. This is definitely going to be useful for lighting up my house in the night on those long winter days when there's no sun, or the like I just went through a period of 10 days with no sun, and the batteries were discharged, and I was using all my battery packs for lighting. So thank you, Lumsing. We'll be trying this out and let everybody know how it goes. Oh, here behind the wood pile I've got the SunTactics solar panel charging the new Lumsing gigantic battery pack that I have, and I've got the SunJack solar panel charging the SunJack battery pack, both of which I use heavily out here now for charging my small devices, and it takes the load off the battery bank of the house, and especially on low light days and periods of cloudiness and winter, which we are now entering. Although this doesn't look like winter. If it wasn't for the trees being bare, I wouldn't feel like it at all. It feels great today. So I've got to head on over to the barnwood pile and start pulling up some wood for construction. I've hand carted some barnwood boards out from the forest. This is a nightmare job. I can't get back there with any machinery to haul it. My wagon on the lawnmower won't carry that. Hand cart won't carry that, it's too long. So I don't know, I have to hand carry it, I guess, piece by piece. I've marked off the corners of the shed so I know where it's going to be, okay? That gives me an idea how much space I'll have here to work with. So I'll be able to put a few tanks, quite a few tanks along the back wall, and then come around. So they're going to line the back wall. That way I'll be able to walk in here and access the batteries and service the tanks as needed. And then above them I'll have some storage for some tools and stuff. Now I'm going to lower those by 1 block. because based on advice I'm going to take off the water filter and put it on the other side of the water pump, and the pump can lay flat. So I'm going to rearrange this system, and then I won't need to be off the ground as high. So that'll be better that way. For further visual, I've taken the 3 boards I just carried over and laid them down. So gives me an idea how much space I've got. It sure looks small once you start putting walls up. Everything looks smaller once you start building. I mean, that's just a layout, just some boards on the ground, and it shows the dimensions. So it's not going to be that big once you get right down to it. But it'll do its job. It'll keep my water lines and batteries from getting cold in winter. Well, I've got the wood for one wall. I'm gonna cart out wood and build a wall, cart out wood and build a wall, and cart out wood and build a wall, because this is treacherous work with the nails and with the stones and the rough territory out in the forest. And if anybody can tell me, please, how they propose I would use a wheelbarrow or a 4-foot long wagon to pull a 20-foot long 2x4 through treacherous, rocky, and uneven terrain, please do tell, because the terrain looks like most of what I'm going through looks like that, but with bigger rocks and boulders and pitfalls in between. So I can feel myself getting shaky, so it's time for lunch. And I'll come out and build this wall. Should be showing you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to work with recycled barn wood, which is not easy. That nail's in there. I'll give you an idea what I've been doing since lunch. If I had the money, I would just go buy wood. This is insanity. But it's not happening, so just my second board. I've got the I don't know the proper terms, so forgive me, but for the wall framing, the top board and the bottom board, I know there's words for that, but forgive me. Mosquitoes are out trying to get their last chew for the year. Successfully, I must say. I just got chewed on. Some of these are pretty rusty. So, yeah, this is not going to be a quick project. I'll get it done this week, probably, but, well, the framing. I'll get the framing done, but that's going to be pretty much it for this week. All these nails take so long. The sawhorse, you may have noticed, is new to the family, the homestead. I got this from a friend of mine who does house cleanouts. Trying to keep the nails off the ground too and work neat, so that takes time. And I think I'm going to put a bigger top board on this sawhorse. Make it easier to keep the boards up. That'll help my job a lot. I spend half my time trying to balance on it. Yeah, at this rate, it's going to be quite a job. So there's the top and the bottom posts for this wall frame. I got two pieces done. Ah, the mosquitoes are terrible. So there they are. Well, there's an uncut piece laying next to the two, but now I'm cutting 9-foot pieces for the short. You know, I gotta go and measure, sorry. The front wall is 9, the back wall is going to be shorter. So I'm going to have a 2-foot slope. They're going to be 7-foot pieces on the back wall. So the boards are going to hang. The wall is going to be 1 foot below the frame of the house because the ground slopes downward in this direction. So I'm going to have the wall of the add-on 1 foot below. Okay, so it's going to be floating on blocks, and there's no floor. This is an open ground, so people were worried about water runoff and flooding and stuff from the water tanks and off-gassing from batteries. Well, this is not going to be sealed to the ground. There's not going to be a floor out here, not a framed floor. So what we're going to have is a floating floor and then gravel, and then I'll put skirting on to help seal that off. So floating floor with gravel, so it's not going to be a framed floor. So anyway, that'll help me keep this mobile. It's just going to be 3 walls tacked onto the side of the house, so with 3 screws I can pop it off and go to keep everything mobile. Everything has to be mobile, don't forget. That's why everything is being done like it is. So, well, I'm going to cut the 7-footers now, and I probably won't have time to do the framing today. It's just taking too long to strip these boards and prepare them. It is just how it's going to be. Now I want to show you something and wonder what you think. My Ryobi is getting weak on me. Now granted, this is true, well, near true 2x4s. The thickness of the wood is thicker than my saw blade. But I was cutting this stuff all last year with no problem, and it's giving me trouble. It's not cutting even a normal 2x4 anymore, and this is dry. This is dry wood, so it's not like the moisture giving me trouble. Just check this out. Well, now the battery went out. Figures. But I wonder if the batteries are getting weak on me, because it binds on me all the time now, and the drill and the impact driver are good. They're running well, but this thing is giving me trouble. And it won't even cut a 2x4 anymore. So I'm wondering if it's the saw is getting weak, or if it's the battery is getting weak. It's all a year old, a little over a year old. And I've used these tools really heavily. But this is a 2x4. It's a dry 2x4. So if you guys know what it possibly is, let me know. I think I'm going to contact Ryobi and ask them too. But anyway, it makes the work harder going. I got to swap batteries out and get this piece cut. I'm marking off 16 on center I am doing this 16 on center because this is not part of the mobile home, and the installation for 16 on center is cheaper. And it is going to be insulated, yes. Means more wood, but the wood is free. It just requires a lot of labor to recycle this stuff and get all the nails out. It's terrible, but it will be cheaper insulation, really cheap, normal standard insulation, because this will be the battery room and the water room. Everybody's been so worried about the batteries and also the water, but I hope to finish this room before it gets cold. I should be able to. So now I know how many I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 uprights. I've got 2. A lot of work to go. 2 uprights. So keep cleaning and cutting. Hello everybody. Prepare yourself for the horror. This is how my brain works. Now that I have an outline of the room, I can better visualize what's going on here. And I measured the 275 gallon tote. And I calculated the cost of using a tote as a water tank as compared to using the equivalent amount of these tanks. And I calculated that 2 totes is going to be more efficient in the end. So until I really started visualizing things, I just didn't have it in my mind. But now when I lay that tape down, it's going to give me only a few foot of space, I think 3 feet of space between the tank and the battery bank. And the tank being 40 inches wide, I'm looking at a roughly 45-inch door frame, because a pallet is 40 inches wide and I'll have to have a couple inches on each side, so at least 42-inch door frame. But once the door is there, and that the door is a couple inches out in your way as well, so I think 45-inch door frame. So I've marked off at 48 inches where I'm probably going to have to put the door frame, and I can't really come in any further than that because I'll hit the battery bank, and the tote is big and square, so I'm going to have to come in right here. But I don't really like putting the door right by the corner, and I'm going to have a little bit of a step up because this is going to be a floating floor, which is not an issue with the tote, because I can pretty much manhandle it and get it over that if I have to, even alone. But 2 of them is going to fill this entire section of the room, and leaving me only a couple inches or 1.5 feet of space in the front, so that's not cool either. So now I have to calculate. I'd like to have 2 totes in here, because if otherwise I'm looking at somebody told me and figured these are 40-gallon tanks. I thought they were more, but if that's only a 40-gallon tank. Now it was rated at 40 gallons, but I thought that was with the air bladder that it would hold 40 gallons still, but I think it's actually a 40-gallon capacity tank, period. So that one's a 20 and that one's a 40, which then makes my system a lot more expensive to put together using them, because it would take what's 4 into well, I just had I think what I figure 7 or 8 tanks. It's getting later and I'm getting tired. I got to get another coffee, but it's not going to turn out that way, so I have to rework things. See, my mind works better once I have it on here. I can do it on paper all day long, but once I get out here to the real deal is when I really start to see the true dimensions of things visually, and it really starts to come together. And then I've got to work out, if I only have a foot and a half of space here, how am I going to get in and out and stuff? So, because that's a 10-foot wide room, with 80 inches gone. Let me set up the tape and we'll check it out. I guess it's okay. Okay, that's the total fit inside this space here. The two totes, two of them, side by side. Tightly, if I crammed them in side by side. So it gives me room to get in here. It gives me a couple feet. It'll be tight, but it's doable. And that'll give me over 500 gallons of water storage capacity. So, and then I might want to see my doorway. I don't want to have my doorway with the greenhouse and the sunlight's shining in right across from the totes. So I've got to refigure things. Maybe I'll put the two totes along the back wall. If I can figure if I got enough room here, I've got to have 40 inches there. I might have to slide the battery banks over. It'll work. It'll all work. But it's going to take some manipulating. But yeah, I think it's going to be better along the back wall, and then I can cover them and keep them. I don't want to have any sunlight on those. That's the big deal. And that'll give me much more room here in the front to enter and drag them in and out as needed. So I want to be able to expand and move things around if I ever need to, or if a tote fails. So that's those 275 gallon food grade tanks, by the way. I want to have two of them. So I'm going to scrap the idea with these and use them for something else, I guess. I can have them for outdoor tanks. Summertime overflow. Summertime you use a lot more water anyway. So those would be good for overflow tanks for summertime use. And in winter I would just have to dump them or whatever. But for gardening and everything else, that'd be alright. And they can also be a heat mass inside the porch, because don't forget it, there's also going to be the flow from the water off the porch roof, which would be again as much as I'm getting off the tiny house on wheels. So I'll probably use them. I just realized something. I don't know if you can see me once the video is processed, but I just realized that these nails are going to be inside the wall. Once this place is done, they aren't going to bother me any. So I'm just putting this place together. I do not need to take out all those nails and waste all this time. So I'm just going through and cutting boards. As long as I don't hit a nail with the saw. Again, I don't know what you can see or not now, it's getting dark, but I'm going to work until I can't see a thing anymore. But as long as I don't hit a nail with a saw, I can keep on going with this thing. I think it's the batteries. That battery is cutting better. See, I'm not making it through the boards. I am not getting through those boards. So now I've got 4 uprights. Yeah, this saw is too, oops, that one's too short. That'll be good for framing the door. This saw blade is too small to cut through these bigger boards. They're old school 2x4s. Well, you probably can't see a thing now, so I'm going to quit recording. I might get 1 or 2 more boards cut tonight. That'll be it.